Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wytpod. My name is Harshit, and I'm the Director of Business Alliances at Wytlabs. We are a digital agency specializing in SaaS and e-commerce SEO. And I've got Brandon Most with me today. He's the head of marketing of GoLinks Productivity Suite. It's a set of generative AI-powered SaaS tools to help employees find the answers to the most urgent workplace questions. A big welcome to you, Brandon. I'm so happy to have you with me today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Now, before we dive into GoLinks, can you please let the viewers know a little bit about you and your professional journey so far?
Yeah, so I've been in the marketing space for 15 years, and I don't think my journey is unique by any means, but I started off as a data analyst in a large enterprise company running reports and looking at trends when it comes to conversions and what's working and what's not, correlations between what type of events people need to attend to lead to higher levels of conversion, and working really heavy with sales doing so. And so that gave me, I think, a unique insight into kind of what sales needs to be successful, what are the correlations of things that the prospects need to do to drive revenue for the organization. And that led me into product marketing and solution marketing and kind of that fit for quite a while. And then I got the opportunity about 3-4 years ago to be the first marketing hire at a company called BoostUp, who is a sales intelligence, revenue intelligence platform. And started as a seed round, built that team up to 5 or 6 people from 0 to 4 and 5 million from seed to Series B in less than 2 years. Wow. And so that experience gave me insights into every aspect of marketing, things that I didn't even know, because I had the product marketing, solution marketing business and BA type hat. But that opened my eyes into things that I think that the organization needs to do to be truly successful. And then ultimately, when GoLinks came looking for a marketer, I felt like it was a good opportunity to continue to build out their team, build out their go-to-market strategy along with the sales organization, and just overall relook at how they're doing marketing and hopefully lead to a stronger strategy within the team.
Gotcha. Right. Can you please provide a brief overview of GoLinks Productivity Suite and its key features and how exactly it addresses the workplace challenges?
Yeah, so GoLinks is, like you said, a productivity suite, right? GoLinks is one of 3 products that we have in the market today. The second one is GoSearch, which is an AI workplace enterprise search application. And the third is what we call GoProfiles. It does people data search, but it also does employee recognition, has employee maps, the job hierarchy and all of that. So it integrates directly with your HRIS systems. So how these work to solve your problem is really, you think about it in the day of a life, right? So if I'm looking for information, what GoLinks is the easiest way to access that information, go/keyword. So if I was to go to a Salesforce report for marketing, I just go/marketing dashboard. Takes me directly there. No thought process, no searching, no bookmarks, nothing, right? But we all know there's hundreds of applications that is connected to your systems. We probably have hundreds. People in enterprise have more than 100 applications. So with GoSearch, we connect all that information. We index it, and now we're able to search across all of the applications in one unified platform. So now if I say, how do I reset my password? It will not only pull up the relevant content, GoLinks, and non-related GoLinks, it will actually pull out the instructions for me directly. So 1, 2, 3, do this. So really what it does is power each person in the company's productivity. We've seen studies by McKinsey and others that estimate up to 7 hours, 20% of their time is wasted searching between applications or searching for information. And what our suite does is really solve for that and give employees their time back.
Okay. And who's your main ICP, your main target audience?
Yeah, so it's typically something that purchased company-wide, right? Because anybody is looking for information and need a quick way to do it. But we focus really in IT, engineering, HR departments as our primary. And then they typically have the budget. They are the ones who we work with to sell it into the organization horizontally. And then they're usually the ones that purchase it. And then we onboard with them to get the rest of the company to leverage the tool.
Okay. And what size of business do you mainly target, like for these IT companies?
Yeah, it's been crazy in the last 15, 18 months. I think with the market economics, the way things are, and we were probably a couple of years back more SMB mid-market with some enterprise focus. PLG motion was working great, bottoms up approach. What we've seen now with some of the changes in the market and just the downturn that was 2023 and partly going into 2024 is the market has shifted for us, and the companies that are really looking for these types of solutions For GoLinks has shifted to mid-market enterprise. GoSearch has been primarily mid-market enterprise. So you're talking from the low end 200 to tens of thousands of employees that are looking at these types of solutions because one, they probably have the budget. There is a big need, lots of tools, lots of resources, lots of people, and they have a problem they need to solve. And that problem is to increase the productivity of their workforce.
Makes sense. All right. Can you highlight key approaches used to build the brand recognition and particularly through your strategic partnerships with the advisors or customers or even industry analysts?
Yeah, so start with the back end with industry analysts. So we don't have a formal relationship with any today, but we meet with McKinsey, we meet with Forrester, we meet with Gartner on a quarterly basis with different analysts within the products that we serve. We probably engage with 6 to 8 analysts across those 3 every quarter to give them updates on what we're doing, progress, and things like that, so they can identify opportunities for us to participate in reports that are obviously read by large enterprise companies as well. So we do have that kind of a strategy in place to just inform and educate and participate. And then from a customer standpoint, we have built a kind of referral motion within the product where they're able to share out and get reward points for doing so to people within either internally for widening the scope or externally. So we have that motion. And then we do have standard NPS kind of feedback loop that would generate reviews and testimonials and all those sorts of things. And even in the last year, we've probably generated 450 plus GT reviews through that motion. That's working extremely well. And then from a brand perspective, there is the traditional kind of PPC, LinkedIn retargeting things that have worked well. There is the PR strategy of getting in front of these audiences who are searching for that type of content. But one of the unique things that we're kind of embarking right now is we have a brand and brand recognition within the GoLinks solution or GoLinks platform. And now we're working to how do we correlate that brand, build for further brand awareness for 2 products we just launched in the last couple of months. And I indicated what those 2 were earlier, GoSearch and Go Profile. So 3 brands, all needing to have their own way, all have some overlap, but definitely all require some brand awareness activities and strategies to get them into the market.
And what specific digital marketing strategies have been significant, helping you expand your customer base and fueling your revenue, specifically for your GoLinks?
Yeah, so I mean, we've built a lot of new motions in the 15, 18 months I've been here. So we have the product qualify lead motion, bottoms up, qualify them, get people to use the product and then expand across the organization. We have what we call is our previous champion lead, people who have been in the sales cycle, closed won deals, heavy users of the platform. And as they move on to new companies, we hit them with personalized messaging, trying to figure out if it's an opportunity to bring us into their organization. Those are 2 net new ones. We also have a lot of the traditional kind of BDR outreach approach tied to marketing outbound, where marketing kind of educates, informs, builds brand within our ICP. And then the sales marries against that and looks to convert those into book meetings for the sales organization. We work really hand in hand with the sales organizations to drive revenue metrics for the company. We don't see the go-to-market teams between sales and marketing in a silo. They're one team looking for one single goal, and that goal is the various levels, but ultimately revenue.
Yeah, and that's brilliant to see because sales and marketing, building that harmony and sync is pretty tough. And that's good to see that you've been doing well on that front. All right, what role does inbound marketing play in your company's growth strategy? And how do you optimize to make it much more effective for your lead generation and your customer acquisition?
Yeah, so inbound strategy is a threefold. So we have referral motion. So a lot of people who use the product refer people in the product, and we have a form that indicates how they hear of us outside of the traditional attribution models. We also have the kind of direct / organic search, right? So they're searching for keywords to come to our site. We work really hand in hand with our content marketing build and SEO strategy that drives those, and we track very heavily the keywords that do convert, and we focus in and double down on those. So the kind of the threefold from that perspective is obviously direct, referral, and then organic. Those are the 3 kind of inbound strategies that work really well. What we have done is simplified the inbound conversion process with a couple of tools. With Clearbit, we're able to just ask a single question, their email address, pre-populate the rest through Chili Piper, click submit, book a meeting directly. which has really increased the kind of inbound to booked meeting to them actually showing up pretty dramatically over the first 18 months I've been here.
That's awesome. And I would love to know because you're focusing on three separate sites altogether, right? And how do you ensure that there's a cohesive messaging strategy across these three platforms? And are these specific cross-promotional strategies like facilitating to encourage the suite usage altogether?
Yeah, we just launched these two products. So I think we're still learning a lot around how we can position them. Early on, we were positioned as independent products, trying to figure out which messaging resonated with our through outbound email, all different strategies, direct keyword PPC and things like that. And we've seen a lot of direct conversions from that. What we've seen though in conversations in the sales motion is a lot of people gravitate to the single problem that they're trying to solve, which is they're trying to be able to, solve for information access, information discovery, knowledge discovery. And it's hard to find content internally. So with GoLinks and GoSearch solving those kind of in twofold one motion, we're able to pitch those as, hey, we can solve this problem. And these are the two products to do. And that is yielding some good conversations and really solidifies the value of the products as like a combined offering, solving a very universal problem in most organizations that I think every company has today.
Makes sense. Okay. And what strategies do you employ to engage users and maintain their utilization of GoLinks Productivity Suite? And any particular focus area for user retentions? And how exactly is your churn rate?
Yeah, so I think I'll try to answer all three of those if I remember correctly. We do have a lot of kind of not traditional onboarding when they, get through emails. We have weekly updates on product enhancements and things like that to keep them involved, up to date on the product. We also built notifications announcements within the product as well. And then we have monthly product update emails to our audience. So this way, they're constantly hearing about the things that we're doing, the new updates, what they should be leveraging, not only through email, but within the product and kind of pop-ups and tours and things that we have as we launch those significant products, right? So that's one way we keep them informed and engaged. We also obviously solicit feedback through NPS to try to understand where the gaps are in the product and where we can improve as a way to drive a full funnel conversation with our customers. So those are two ways that we continue to engage, inform, and have them self-identify opportunities for our product to improve.
Okay. And what's the lifetime in months, for a typical customer of GoLinks Suite?
The lifetime value of the customer, or what are you trying to?
Not value, like just in months. What's a typical lifetime of a customer?
Yeah, I think you're asking about retention. Yeah, we have a really high retention rate. I don't have the number in front of me. It was nearly 100% probably 2 years ago when everything had budget and had resources and things. As companies are looking to optimize their SaaS spend, we have seen some retention, but it's not necessarily because of usage and adoptions. They have to make a hard choice between, do I keep productivity tool or do I keep my CRM tool? And sometimes it's a little hard to compete with some of those types of tools that are mission critical for running their operations within their business. But we still have an extremely high retention rate today. And we have retention strategies with a new role that we have that focuses strictly on retention and expansion.
All right. Makes sense. And what are the key performance indicators that guide you, measure your marketing success? And how do you use these metrics to refine your strategies?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think we all look towards revenue generated as an organization and then break it down by marketing. What are the conversions channels and what conversion channels are leading to the highest revenue? But we can't always just look at revenue for success, especially in a very tough market dynamics that we're in as well. So we're looking at cost per acquisition, return on ad spend. Even in our field marketing events, we're looking at things like cost per opportunity generated. We're looking at maybe cost per stage 2 pipeline because there's too early to tell if they're going to convert yet, right? So there's different vectors that we're looking in as like a subcomponent or pre-stage to revenue, but it's definitely tied towards revenue. And we are, like I said earlier, one organization looking to drive that revenue regardless of if it's an SDR that books it and marketing hit them 7 times in retargeting ads, or if it's a direct conversion on inbound and they book a meeting. We look at revenue attainment goals as a company as our primary driver.
Okay. And because you're targeting mainly mid-market and enterprise clients, what's your typical sales cycle looks like? How many like days or months it takes to close down one enterprise or a mid-sized market customer?
Yeah, it was definitely much more transactional a couple of years ago. I would say now with the market shift, the more mid-markets, like we talked about in enterprise, it can vary dramatically. So some of the mid-market could take 90 days, six stakeholders to get through the finish line, right? Some of the enterprise companies with tens of thousands of employees, it could take 6+ months, depending on where they are. When they introduced us into their POC type progress, their RFPs, do they have RFIs and things like that? It's definitely becoming a much more complex sell as we moved up the market. But we're looking at ways in which we could help accelerate those motions, shorten the sales cycle. And those are two things we actually look at is length of sales cycle and look at ways to move from different stages and increase that velocity. And so some of the things marketing is looking to do is continue to build deal acceleration type events, value added events to help bring those deals and accelerate them into the funnel faster, especially early stages. Some of the late stages can get hung up in procurement for 60 days just based on when it is in the sales cycle and when it is in terms of the organization we're working with and how many other tools they're looking to bring on at that point in time. Try to accelerate the front end as much as possible.
And what's the typical customer value?
Yeah, it's changed dramatically. So I'm looking at ACVs. Well, I'm going to answer. Most of them are near 100+ K deals right now. And some of them are a lot larger than that. It really just depends. But we still, like I said, we still have that free trial motion. We still can get 50 enterprise licenses, 10K or less, a little bit, all the way up to a couple 100,000 pretty easily. So it is a really wide ICP. We really starting to focus more on, like I said, 1,000 to 5,000 employees is our kind of sweet spot. A couple of different reasons. One, they have the budget. They're large enough to have a kind of a project in place for this, but they're not too large where it takes tons of our resources when we don't have a ton across the organization to close one deal. So that's where we're leaning in our sweet spot.
Okay. All right. Can you highlight any specific partnership or marketing channel that have had a significant impact on expanding your market reach and your visibility?
Yeah, I can't say it's just one, right? We do, as we talked about, use a lot of different channels. And I think we're still maturing our marketing organization and testing a lot to see what works, even within specific outbound strategies for marketing, whether it's email, working with sales, field marketing. So in conferences last year, we did billboards last year, as well as a brand awareness and conversion strategies. We're still testing a lot to see what works within our ICP. Because our ICP is engineering and IT, which is a completely different market than some other ones I've kind of marketed to in the past. So we're still fine-tuning what works best. Right now, we're seeing kind of conferences and events to drive a lot of value and kind of cost per opportunity as a relatively low cost. And then I think the other thing is straight outbound engagement. We're seeing a lot of direct conversion through marketing outbound, which is a good and free, cheap channel to leverage to drive good quality conversations for the sales organization.
Yeah. And since you mentioned outbound, some of these updates around Gmail and even Yahoo was planning to do it sometime early this year. And yeah, Microsoft already did that. So it is becoming tough. Making your message land onto the inbox is not that easy, which was like even 8 to 9 months back, it was pretty easy. How do you ensure that still in today's age works for you?
Yeah, and I think they backtracked a little bit from what was scaring everybody. So it's company domains are not part of that, whatever that spam rate percentage was. But yes, email is getting harder to break through the noise. I think about my email inbox, and probably 50% of what I get daily is people looking for me to buy something. Most of the conversations are being had on LinkedIn or Slack or different parts of Discord communities and things like that. We have in our outreach, especially on the BDR side, where it's more volume right now, marketing is more tailored and strategic. And I think BDR and the AEs and the marketing team are going to work towards that, like an ABM type strategy in Q1 and focusing on strategic accounts. But we shifted a lot of that kind of outreach to calls and LinkedIn. and social channels to drive most of the conversations. And what we see is emails we're reducing from probably 5, let's say, touches in an outbound to 1 or 2, likely 2, and really focusing on LinkedIn and calls and some other tactics to try texts and some texting in some instances to try to drive those conversions. And calls probably been our number 1 over the last 6 months in terms of conversion, and LinkedIn's probably been 2, and email's probably been 3.
Oh, awesome. All right. Brandon, we're coming to an end, and I would love to have a quick rapid fire with you. Are you ready for that?
Well, I hope so.
Okay. What one word do you want people to associate you with?
Curiosity.
Okay. Are you a private person or not?
It's funny. I'm probably more private and reserved in my family life. I'm probably more outgoing in business for whatever reason. But yeah, that's how it is.
Any funny nicknames your parents or friends or even your work colleague used to call you?
Yeah, Bud. Name's Brandon. Nickname was Bud, and it really generated from my mom back in the day sewing a name tag on my coat. And I think the closest name tag she could find in Brandon was Bud. Even to this day, it still sticks with me through family and through close friends. And then people hear it and it sticks with them too. So it would be Bud.
Okay. What was your last Google search?
What was my last Google search? It was probably specific keywords, enterprise search AI, to see how well our new product is ranking and showing on first page results. So that's what I was doing.
All right. And what's something you could eat for a week straight?
I am not picky with food. I'm not a foodie. I could probably eat anything for a week straight and not bother me. If I had to choose a preference, though, it would be probably pizza. I don't know why. Simple, easy. I don't take much to cook it or anything like that. So I do pizza.
Okay. And now coming to my very last question. What is not a big deal to most people, but is a torture to you?
In most marketing organizations I've been a part of, they look at vanity metrics. And my biggest thing is looking at how do we as an organization do the things we do drive revenue for the business. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when somebody sends me an email and says, I'm going to give you 100 leads. And to me, I'm like, no, you're giving me 100 contacts. Leads to me are people who actually convert and are in a meeting. That's a lead to me. So I think that's my biggest pet peeve, is really looking at quality metrics in terms of revenue and how we ultimately as a marketing organization is going to hit those top line values for the organization.
All right. Thank you, Brandon. It was a fun conversation. I really enjoyed my time with you, and I really appreciate you spending time for this session. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you having me. Good luck.